China has announced that from today it will commence the procedure of issuing visas to Indian students numbering around 23,000, most of them students of medicine, so that they can go back to China and resume their studies at the Chinese universities. Due to China's strict COVID restrictions, these students were in India for over 2 years, waiting to return to China and complete their academic courses. And Shubhanji, this is a great victory for the students whose dreams have been cut short by the pandemic.
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's a very long wait for students who are studying in Chinese universities, and they had to return at some point of time in last 2 years from China due to COVID-19 pandemic and due to various other issues when they came back for some personal reasons, some emergency, and they could not go back. So this amounted to almost 20,000 students. Almost entire community of Indian students from China almost came back to India and could not return due to the strict COVID policies by China. But at this moment, I would like to say that even though COVID-19 restrictions were there, but the matter related to the students' future and their life definitely was very important. And this delay could have been avoided probably better. I mean, it's good that better sense prevailed and China finally resumed the visa for Indian students.
In fact, this decision is especially significant for the over 20,000 students enrolled in medical courses, as online classes do not allow for practical experience and would have made them ineligible to appear for the Foreign Medical Graduates Examination, FMGE, a licensure examination to practice in India. So would you say that for the medical students, it's actually a lifesaver, this decision?
Actually, the biggest problem was for medical students, because as you mentioned that online classes would not suffice for the practical classes, which are really very much needed in case of medical courses, and online medical degrees would not be accepted anywhere in the world, not only in India but also in China. And this issue also I have clearly highlighted many times with the Chinese Foreign Ministry. So this definitely is a very significant decision for Indian medical students. Also, online classes have many other issues, even if for the theory classes, because there is a problem of time difference between India and China. Many students might have been working somewhere to make their ends, because many have applied for student loan and all. Not everybody was able to take care of their study fee in China. So there were multiple kind of issues. So definitely this decision is going to help them a lot, but there are many hurdles still on the way.
You've talked about hurdles which are still there. Can you highlight what are the major hurdles which still remain?
So the first hurdle is that they can apply for student visas only if they have a certificate of return from their Chinese university. And from the current situation which I have gathered from speaking to some students who are waiting for their return. So many have not yet got any certificate from their universities. Few universities are in the process of preparing these certificates, but many universities have still not started yet. It means that they have not get clear-cut communication from Chinese Foreign Ministry for issuance of such kind of certificates to the students. So this is one issue. Another issue is that when they go to VFS, the company which accepts the visa for China, so they have asked for a hard copy of the certificate, but it's not yet sure if they will send the hard copy and when will it reach, or a soft copy will do, because Chinese embassy in New Delhi has not mentioned the requirement of a hard copy of the certificate. So these are kind of practical issues. Apart from this, there are no direct flights. That is the biggest hurdle so far in this entire process. So it's very much required that both the governments can start the direct flights because China banned the direct flights from India in November 2020. So they need to start it again as soon as possible, because flight fares are very high.
The matter of permitting Indian students to resume their studies in China was also brought up by our External Affairs Minister, Mr. S. Jaishankar, with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi in March. You think the diplomatic efforts have also resulted in lifting of restrictions on Indian students traveling to China and in light of what you were just telling us, the various hurdles which are there, you feel that in these matters also government can play a role?
Yes, you're right. Since the meeting of Dr. Jaishankar and Wang Yi in March, the issues were really sped up, I believe, and it was a very genuine concern of Indian students, and Dr. Jaishankar and Indian Embassy in Beijing, they very emphatically, very persuasively, they took up these cases repeatedly in last 2 years with the Chinese Ministry of Education and Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And definitely this helped a lot, and without constant pressure from the embassy and the Ministry of External Affairs, this would have been definitely delayed, I believe, a little more. So it really helped, and there are talks on between both India and China for resumption of direct flights. So let us see when this can be done, because that is the biggest hurdle for people-to-people exchanges, including students.
So whatever the legal system is there, whatever the guidelines are, there is a lot of online support available for students so that they can go on a website and they can really understand that what are the various aspects, what are the various parameters which they have to be aware of and prepare for.
I think the first thing which they need to take care while preparing for the departure from India, that would be, if I can tell you, the required documents. So for newly enrolled students, it would be original visa application for study in China and original admission letter issued by university in China. For students who are returning, who are already enrolled in any Chinese university, they need to get this certificate of return to the campus. Apart from this, the general documents which are required are the certificate of COVID-19 vaccination, and they need to get a green code from Chinese embassy in New Delhi. Then they need to again get a COVID test and a green code from a Chinese embassy in the transit country if they are not getting a direct flight, which is not available at the moment. So, and other requirements. So everything is mentioned on the website, and I'm sure they would be told by VSS for any other documents requirement. Not be an issue at the moment with this kind of information available.
Announcement on the website of Chinese Embassy in New Delhi said opening up of visas is for a variety of non-tourist Indian travelers, including students, businessmen, and families of those working in China. So would you say that today's this decision which has come is significant not only for Indian students but also for business development and economic growth?
Of course. If we see the business relations and bilateral trade, we have seen that despite all these border issue and COVID-19, still business bilateral trade has grown up only between India and China, and largely in the favor of China in terms of balance of payment and trade surplus in favor of China. Apart from that, definitely this decision will help for all those traders and business people who really want to visit China and then decide on their business decisions, especially in terms of trading, I would say, not in terms of investment or any other thing. So this will definitely help. But one thing I would like to highlight that in terms of business, China is very much clear, and they allowed just in the beginning of this month on 9th of August, they allowed a chartered flight from India to China only for the Indian traders and businessmen who flew to EU. EU is the main trade hub for Indian businessmen in past few years. So in terms of business, they all allowed this charter flight also, and while they did not consider students' issue for so long, that was a little bit unfortunate, I would say. Both should have been done at the same time, but definitely this decision is going to help many category of people.
Thank you so much for this detailed discussion on the much-awaited lifting of visa ban for Indian students by China, and we hope their return to China is smooth and they are able to realize all their dreams. Thank you so much.
Thank you.